Hi everyone, welcome to the session on profitability cases, an intro to profitability cases and how to tackle them. So we'll roughly go through the case type, and then we'll see how we can tackle them and what different cases there can be. So what are profitability cases? So basically, any case in which the term profit is involved, where you might have to find the profit, might have to project them, or you might have to find out why a certain company is not being able to earn profit. Those are profitability cases. So, for example, your client is a drug lord from Mexico whose company is reporting a drop in profits in the last 2 years. He has hired you, and you have no choice but to figure out why. How do you work it out? So, here we can see that okay, so we have a client who's a drug lord from Mexico, and the company is reporting a drop in profits. So you know that so they've given you that the profits are dropping, and now we need to figure out that why are the profits dropping. So that's why it's a profitability case, and there's generally a frame involved. So here there's last 2 years. Okay, so now we'll go to the basic guideline. So the first step, whenever you're approaching a case interview, is to summarize the question. You may not know exactly what the interviewer said, or you may not know exactly the objectives the interviewer has set. So to clarify all of that, just once summarize the question. So that way, even if there are hidden objectives, you'll figure them out. The next step is to verify the objectives. So again, this is sort of similar only. Summarizing the question was to so that you make sure that you don't miss any detail. Verifying the objectives is finding out if there are any different objectives there. The third is asking preliminary questions. Now, this is very important. Not everything that you need is given in the case interview that is given to you. So you need to keep asking questions, and the preliminary questions will sort of give you a guideline as to how to approach it further on. We'll cover this in a couple of slides. So this is a very important step. The fourth is formulating and conveying your strategy. So this is after you've asked preliminary questions and you figured out exactly how to go about it. You formulate a strategy. Here you will ask the interviewer for like 1 or 2 minutes. You'll write down your strategy, and you'll tell the interviewer what your plan is exactly. So basically, you have the entire problem now. You know the problem. You know the basic things about the company and the problem that you have. Now you have to come up with some sort of strategy to tackle it. So we'll go through that also in later slides. After that, you would isolate the problem. The profit structure that's mentioned here, that would come under strategies. So there is a particular structure that you may follow. After that, you will isolate the segment which has the issue. So you've isolated the problem in the profit structure, but then that's not enough. You need to delve deeper into that issue. So you can divide that segment wise. And when you divide that segment wise, you may find the issue in a particular segment. After which you can isolate the problem along the value chain. So these are all steps that you will follow to really narrow down and drill down to the problem. And finally, ask follow-up questions and finally offer recommendations. So this is a sort of a basic structure. You'll understand this as we go along. But for right now, keep this sort of basic guideline in your mind. The next is preliminary questions.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So this preliminary question slide is basically a recap of what we did last time, right? So you might remember what they were, but we'll go through them again. Go ahead, Soumya. Okay, so yeah, first of all, you need to clarify ambiguous questions. If there's any sort of ambiguity in the question, you need to clarify it. If the interviewer says that the sales have declined, so you will ask, what does the interviewer mean by sales? Does the interviewer mean revenue or units sold? So clarify ambiguous questions in the beginning. Then okay, so since this is a profitability case, will be told that either our profits are have increased or decreased. So you'll have to ask how high or low are our profits compared to earlier. Also, how long has this been an issue? The problem at hand, how long has this been happening? So the next question would be related to the product that the company deals in. So you'll have to ask what exactly is the client's product, because sometimes it might not be clear what exactly the product is. If, for example, see if the interviewer asks that the company deals in clocks, for example, and you might not know what kind of clocks the company deals in. So the clock could be like the analog clocks or digital clocks or wristwatches. So you need to know what exactly the product is, so that you don't get, you don't assume something and get stuck in the end. You don't have to, you should never assume. So you should clarify what kind of product the company deals in. Also, you should also know what the competitors' products are and how do they compare to our products. So the next questions are based on geography. So which geography does the company operate in? The company might be operating just in India, maybe Asia Pacific. So you must know what geographies the company operates in. Also, you need to ask the specific the issue that the issue at hand, is it specific to some particular geography? Because might be happening that the issue is specific only to some zone out of the whole country. It might be happening only in the north. So that way you can narrow it down to the geography. The next question can be on value chain. So you must know where the company lies in the value chain. And so, yeah, finally, whether the problem at hand is industry wide or company specific. Also, what is our market share? This is also important. Finally, what after this we do competitor benchmarking. So that's comparing our product, our distribution channels, our company to other companies in the same domain, in the same sector. So these are the preliminary questions. This is just a recap of what we did last time. So I'm sure it must be pretty clear. Okay, so Ujjwal is asking what is value chain. Okay, so Ujjwal will come to value chain in the next few slides, and Soumya will explain to you what value chain is, even though we explained it in the last session. So Soumya will explain it to you once again.
All right. Okay.
Go
So
ahead.
the next slide is profit structure. Okay. So once you have the question and you've asked your preliminary, once you have your problem and you've asked your preliminary questions, the next thing is to look at the profit structure. So we explained this in the last class also. A profit structure basically divides the problem so that we can see where exactly the problem is lying. So we divide the profit into revenue minus cost, and the revenue further into price into number of units, and cost into cost per unit into number of units. That price is also price per unit. So here, as you go along, so make this okay. So when you're given the problem and you ask your preliminary questions, take a minute and tell the interviewer that I'm just going to make my structure. So can I have 2 minutes? They'll be like, okay. Then draw the structure, and then once you've drawn it, ask the interviewer, okay. So we know that profits have decreased. Does that mean that our revenue has decreased? They'll tell you. Then accordingly you can mark off where the problem lies. So suppose they tell you that the revenue has stayed the same, so then you know the cost has increased, so then you would drill down into cost. So that's how you would go along the profit structure. If the cost had been the same and the revenue had increased, then you would drill down into revenue. You can also divide cost on the basis of fixed and variable. So this depends on sort of the question. If you end up having no problem here, then you may want to look at in terms of the cost, you might want to look at fixed and variable costs and see if there's an issue lying there. One thing to note that the revenue and the cost can be further divided into MECE segments. MECE is mutually exclusive and comprehensively evaluative, I think, or something like that, which can be based on product type, geography, distribution channel.
Exhaustive.
Exhaustive, comprehensively exhaustive, right? Which can be based on product type, geography, distribution channel, etc. So basically, if your question focuses on something on one of these, what you can do is you can divide the revenue further. So if we have a problem with the price, we can divide it further into, say, the product types and see if there's a particular product that has that price problem, and it's not the entire company. It's not across the entire company. So that's how would you do with the profit structure. After you drill down into this, we would go into segmentation.
Okay, so guys, you might remember segmentation from the last session. So here we'll majorly deal with three kinds of segmentation. The first one would be geography. So, okay, yeah. So One kind of segmentation is based on geography. So what can happen is the company might have the data for its sales based on geography. It might have divided the entire country into different zones. For example, maybe north, west, east, central, south, northeast. So these kind of zones, the company might have divided the whole country into, and it might have been tracking its sales based on geography. So here we've included an example for your understanding. So say the sales for a liquor company might have declined in eastern India after the liquor ban in Bihar. So you might know about the liquor ban in Bihar. So after the liquor ban came into effect, some liquor company might have seen decline in sales in eastern India. So this would not affect other regions. So what we're doing here is when we are isolating the problem along a segment, like for a segment, what happens is we can automatically drill down, like narrow it down to one segment only. So here the problem would lie only in eastern India for if the problem was according to the example. So that way we could narrow it down only to eastern India. So the other kind of segmentation that we could have is product type. And so we've included the example here go through the example. The profits for Philips might have increased specifically for air purifiers during the winters when pollution is at the worst in NCR. This would be independent of the other electronic products manufactured by the company. So as you know, Philips deals in all kinds of electronic items, and during winters, only the specific product, air purifiers, might have seen increase in sales, and hence the profit for the company might have been increasing. So if the case was why our profits for Philips increasing during winters, the you could have narrowed it down to the segment of air purifiers products only. So that way, product type is also one kind of segmentation. And finally, we have distribution channels. So as you already know, we also covered distribution channels in the last session. So the distribution channels here, I also go through, when you go through the slide, you can see that we marked the segment in bold. So for example, in geography, we've marked Eastern India in bold and air purifiers in bold. So in case of distribution channels, the example is any company X might have experienced decrease in sales through retailers and an increase in sales through e-commerce platforms during the lockdown. So here the distribution channels are retailers and e-commerce platforms. So again, here the problem could be narrowed down only to one distribution channel, right? So like two of the distribution channels, you could have narrowed down the problem to distribution channels. So that's the way you segment and narrow the problem down to one segment.
I just want to add here, why we do segmentation is so that we can figure out where the problem lies. And then further on, when we give recommendations or we find out the exact problem, we can think according to what we know. So some things may not work in some other situation, in another situation. So that's why we're doing segmentation. We'll pause here. If there are any questions, you can put them in.
Guys, we've gone through preliminary questions, profit structure, and segmentation. Any questions, any queries, any doubts? Go ahead. Can you elaborate more on MCME? I think he means MECE.
MECE.
Okay.
Yeah,
Would you like to take that?
You take this.
Okay. Okay. So Nishant, MECE is mutually exclusive and comprehensively exhaustive. MECE would mean here, for example, see when in case of dividing the segmenting according to geography, what I gave as an example was we divided India into different zones: north, east, west, south, central, northeast. So what happens there is all of them are mutually exclusive. No zones overlap with each other, and comprehensively exhaustive would mean all of them together comprise the whole nation, the whole country. So that is what MECE would mean. It's something similar to, you might have studied something similar in probability, I guess. I forgot what the term was. We studied it back in class 12th, right? So all of them are exclusive, but together they form the whole. So that is what MECE ways is.
Mutually
So
exclusive events.
Yeah. Would you like to add something, Soumya, or was I clear?
No, I think you covered most of it. It's basically we're trying to cover everything, but nothing is overlapping.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, okay, we'll continue.
Okay. Was it clear? Okay. So there's another question. Will these points be same for market entry or market expense cases?
So everything
So
we're telling you right now is a little bit specific. So, wait a minute. So far, we have done till segmentation. Uh, it's not exactly the same for market entry. Market entry is a little bit different, but the beginning part, asking for like the basic guideline, asking preliminary questions and then formulating your strategy, that is same, but it differs a little for market entry cases. We'll have another session for market entry cases.
yeah, there's another question, Soumya.
Segmentation might also consider change in customer preferences, entry of a new competitor. That's not so entry of a new competitor would not exactly come in segmentation. That would lie in value chain, I think. And change in customer preferences also I would classify in value chain, not in
Yeah.
segmentation.
Yeah. Also,
Segmentation,
the entry of a new competitor.
Anirudh, you're not audible.
Yeah. Okay. So whatever you said. Okay. Go ahead with it.
Okay, so I was saying that segmentation sort of focuses on everything that's happening in the company right now. It's not looking at external factors as such. It's more of what is in the company and how the company is functioning. You're looking
Yeah.
at
Also, how they keep
particularly
the data.
right. What you're looking at is particularly towards what the competitor and what the customers are doing. So that would come in value chain. So at that point we're looking at external factors also. I hope that clears your doubt. Okay, cool. So if there are no more, we'll continue. All right. Okay. Right. So after segmentation, we come to value chain. So the value chain is basically three parts. It's production, distribution, and then retail. This is sort of covering everything that a company may do. And it's not necessary that the company might do all three parts of these. It might do one, it might do two, it might do all three. So the first is production, which is basically producing a product. This also may include transportation as well. The second part would be distribution. So that's how it's getting the product out and how is it further reaching the customers. And retail is the final selling. We're looking at the customer side of things. So when we employ the value chain, we ask the following. We sort of look at it in this sense. We're looking at these issues, particularly in the value chain. So we're looking at any issue in production or transportation. Then we look at any distribution push issue. And then we look at any customer pull issue. So after you've done segmentation and you've narrowed it down to a particular segment, you then draw the value chain. And when you're drawing the value chain, one by one, go through each of these 3 points, these three topics, and ask questions within each of them to try and exactly pinpoint the issue. So first of all, you would go through the production or transportation and see if there are any problems there. After that, you would look at the distribution push. So it may be that our distributors are not pushing our product as much as the competitors. So that may be a problem there. The third one would be customer. So it may be that the customers are not preferring our product. So the question that was just asked, if there's a new competitor, this might come in there. That maybe customers are preferring a different competitor's product over ours. So then you would look into why that's happening. So this is the value chain.
Yeah. Okay. So, Ujjwal, you asked what is value chain, right? So is it clear to you now?
Yes. Okay.
So yeah. Okay. Okay, so now we'll look at the problems along the value chain. We'll look into the details, what kind of questions you're supposed to ask. So Soumya already told you that there can be three kinds of issues. There can be the production or transportation issue, there can be distribution push issue, and there can be customer pull issue. So we'll go into the details, what kind of questions you're supposed to ask. Okay, so for production or transportation issue, the first thing you would ask would be, has our production capacity changed? So it might be the case that we are producing less than before, earlier, less than compared to what we were producing earlier. So that way also, our market share would reduce, right? We would not be able to supply that according to the demand. So this would be our first question. Next would be, are we able to supply distributors according to demand? So this could also be an issue, right? That we are not able to supply to the distributors according to how much they're demanding. So there might be an issue with the transportation, or then there could be any other issue that we would delve deeper into after the production transportation issue. So the next question would be, yeah, okay. Are all products reaching the different distribution channels through the distributor? So there could also be a possibility that the products are not reaching the different distribution channels. So this would also be covered here in this question. So these are all the questions that you would ask for production or transportation issue, and we'll go sequentially only while asking questions to the interviewer. So after the production transportation issues have been covered, we would go next to distribution push issue. So the questions that would be asking here would be, what are our distribution channels and how do they stack up against our competitors? So now you already know what the different distribution channels could be. We could have retailers selling our product. We could have e-commerce websites selling our products. So we'd have to look into the distribution channels. If there's the issue is specific to one of the distribution channels, one or like some specific distribution channels. So, and we'll also compare it with our competitors. So what distribution channels our competitors are using, what distribution channels we are using, and how do they compare right now? So the next question would be, is the shopkeeper or in like any distribution channel that we're using, are they not selling or pushing our product to the customers? So this might be the case that another company offering some other product might be providing the shopkeeper greater incentive through like profit margins. So the shopkeeper might be selling their product more. The shopkeeper might be trying to push the product of the other company more than ours. And that way also we could be seeing a decline in sales or profits. So these are the two questions that would be asking in the distribution push issue. Next, we move on to customer pull issue. Okay, so customer pull issue is basically if the customer is not buying our products. So the first thing would be, has the overall market for the product reduced? So this could also be the case that the issue is not specific to our company. It might be the case that the overall market has reduced or the overall market has improved, right? So for example, when I gave you the example of air purifiers, so during winters the overall market for air purifiers increases, right? So that way also, if we are seeing an increase in profits, so the reason is that overall market is seeing an increase. So this might be an issue. This could be the question. This would be the first question that would be asking for customer pull issue. Then you have, are the customers buying someone else's product over ours? So yeah, this could also be the case that some other company's products are preferred by the consumers over ours. So this would be the final question that you'd be asking in the customer pull issue. So you would go sequentially. You would ask production transportation issue questions first, then the distribution push issue, then the customer pull issue. Okay, so any questions that you have, you might ask. Soumya, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, just one thing. Try and relate these things to what we've done so far. So you see that so for example, in production slash transportation issue, we see that has our production capacity changed? We can relate this to suppose the answer was that yes, it has changed and we're producing less than before, then we can relate that to in the beginning we made the profit structure. So when we divided revenue, we had number of units. So there, if we had number of units decreasing, we could relate that to here. That yes, our production capacity has changed, and now we look into why it has changed. So just try and relate all of these things with what all we've done so far, and then it'll become more of a flow. It'll become more easier for you.
Yeah.
Right. So now we'll go to questions.
Okay. So Harshit has asked, can we also ask about our market share in different distribution channels we are indulged in? So yeah, definitely. When we'll go through the value chain, we'll ask what distribution channels our company has and what our market shares in the individual distribution channels are, right? And that way you'll be able to figure out if the issue is only in some specific distribution channel or channels. Would you like to
Okay.
add anything, Soumya?
No, that's it. If there are no more questions, I mean, I'd advise you to put them in now because after this we'll do an example. All right, okay, let's go to the example. Oh, wait, okay, no, sorry, customer pull issue before that.
Yeah, there's one more slide left. Okay, so yeah, in the customer pull issue, we ask two questions, right? Has the overall market share reduced, or otherwise, are the consumers preferring somebody else's products over ours? So, in case the second question has an answer in the affirmative, if the interviewer says yes, the customers are preferring somebody else's products, we would have to delve deeper into the issue. And okay, so we'll delve deeper. So the first thing that you'll be asking is our product a commodity product or a differentiable product? Okay, so now we'll come to the definitions of the both types of products. So, okay, commodity products are those products in which all units of production are identical, regardless of who produces them. So, okay, take for example any dairy company. They would provide you the same kind of product, right? They would provide you milk, and milk does not differ across companies, right? So that would be an example of a commodity product, right? Whereas differentiable product, yeah, differentiable product is different for different companies. So a company's product, if it's different than those of its competitors, it is a differentiable product. So okay, so we could have, for example, maybe laptops or phones, maybe. So even though the different companies are even the products are similar, they're not exactly similar, right? They have distinguishing factors. So if the products are different, then the product is called a differentiable product. So it is always, it would always help to know if the product is a commodity product or a differentiable product, because that way, if it is a commodity product, you know that there's nothing wrong with your product, right? You don't need to compare it with other products because all of them are identical. It would not matter. But if it's a differentiable product, you would need to do further analysis, you'll have to delve further into the issue. Okay, so if it's a differentiable product, you need to perform competitive analysis along these three parameters. Okay, so you might need to perform competitive analysis based on product parameters, distribution channels, or marketing. So I guess that's it. If you have any questions, go ahead. Product parameters are, you already must be knowing what product parameters are because we covered it in the last session. Product parameters are maybe, for example, size or shape or color or features. So those would be product parameters. Distribution channels we've already covered. It could be retailers, e-commerce, smaller shops, wholesalers. That would be distribution channels. And marketing would be marketing of the product. So how you're selling it, how you're informing the customers about your product. So that would be marketing. If you have any questions, just type them in the chat box.
All right, okay. So let's go to an example now.
Soumya, do you think we should revise it once, like maybe go to the third slide where we've noted down all the points, right? That way they would
1 second.
get the flow of it.
Yeah, this one.
The slide before this. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we covered the basic guidelines, right? So what you do is, first of all, the summary and verifying the objectives. Apart from that, you ask preliminary questions. That's the first step. Then you need to isolate the problem in the profit structure. Then you isolate the segment with the issue. Then you isolate the problem along the value chain. Finally, you ask follow-up questions. So this might be clear to you now. This is the flow of it. This is how we proceed. And now we'll take an example case, and we would like to make it a little more interactive this time. And we'll ask you questions. Just type your answer in the chat box. We'll do that, right, Soumya?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So
so we've covered every part of this, and we'll be taking the same example that we written in the beginning, and throughout the thing we'll keep it open to you. So any anything that you could add in the case or what you think should be done next, put that in and we'll sort of discuss it. So that way you'll also get to know it better.
Try to be quick, guys.
Okay. So, reiterating the example case, it is your client is a drug lord from Mexico whose company is reporting a drop in profits in the last 2 years. He has hired you and you have no choice but to figure out why. How do you work it out? So, now we've mentioned this. The first step is always to summarize the question. And okay, so suppose I summarize the question. So I know that my client is a drug lord from Mexico. There's a drop in profits in the last 2 years, and I need to figure out why. So that's the summary. Then I would reiterate and find out what the objective is. So I would ask, okay, so I need to find out the drop in profits. Anything else? No, we're just looking at the drop in profits. Now we come to preliminary questions. So what preliminary questions would you ask?
Yeah, go ahead, type that in the chat box, guys. What preliminary questions would you ask? We already told you, right, what kind of questions you're supposed to ask. So what according to you would be good questions to ask in this case?
Okay, so the first is duration of problem faced. Okay, now the first question, sorry, the statement said that uh, wait 1 second, I'll go back here. That the drop in profits has been for the last 2 years. So that is the duration of the problem faced. Okay, so the next is the areas that they serve.
Yeah.
Right, that's a good question. We talked about geography. So, so the business it ships to worldwide. It ships worldwide.
Yeah.
Right. So it's covering basically all areas.
Yeah. Okay. How much reduction in profits? So that is a kind of irrelevant in this case. So you don't need to go through it. The interviewer would also say that
Right.
it's irrelevant.
So some cases don't have maths in them. Some cases do. So here you've asked how much reduction in profits. This particular question um, does not have any math related solving. So there's no
Yeah.
so the
Nevertheless,
interviewer
you'll
will just
ask the question. Don't ask the. It should not be like you did not ask the question. You should ask the question, and the interviewer will tell you if there's math involved or not, and if the question is relevant.
right. Okay. So the next one is where do you supply the drugs to? Again, worldwide. A little more on that. The company manufactures cocaine in large quantities in Mexico, and then it's shipped worldwide.
Yeah. Decrease in revenue or cost of drugs. Okay, so Harshit, that would come in the profit structure part, right? So we'll not ask that in the preliminary questions.
Yeah, the preliminary questions are just finding out about the company and how the product works and everything. After that, when
Yeah.
you go into profit structure, then you can ask, is it revenue or cost?
Yeah. So
Okay, so the
what
next thing,
changed in the
yeah,
past 2 years? So I don't think you'd be asking that.
that is okay.
The
So another thing, that is a very broad question. What changed in the past
yeah,
2 years is exactly what you have to find out. So
yeah,
the
you're supposed
interviewer
to
is
find
not
out.
gonna reply to that, and in fact, this may work negatively because if they're asking you a question and you're asking the exact same one back, they're gonna be like, "Why did I ask you?"
Yeah. So we mentioned that in the last presentation, right? But that slide was after all the preliminary questions. After you're done that, then you try to figure out what has changed. So you're not supposed to ask that directly here during the preliminary questions.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
The
New
next one is
competitor's price.
okay. So there is no new competitor, and there's no mention so far if there is a new competitor. Um, so okay, so this you don't again ask in preliminary. This you would come to in maybe the value chain
Yeah.
and figure out. if there's a competitor. Here, competitor related, you could have asked, does our product differentiate from the competitor's products? There is, as you don't as such ask if there is a new competitor here.
Yeah. The next one is direct dealing or third party dealing. Again, I don't think you'd ask this here in the preliminary questions. It is kind of
No, this
a
we
part
can
of the value chain,
answer.
right?
Yeah, this we can answer. Value chain makes sense in preliminary. So right,
Okay.
so our so we manufactured it in Mexico and then we shipped it, and then the local drug cartels, they purchase the cocaine from us and sell it to the end customers. So that could answer that.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one is, any government regulations against drug selling changed in recent times? As such, government regulations have not changed. And again, I wouldn't necessarily classify this as a preliminary question.
Yeah.
I think I would put this again in value chain. Um, are any competitors growing? No, no competitors. Mentioned that. What kind or type of drugs? Right. So
Yeah.
we're only present in the cocaine business.
So yeah, guys, you could broadly remember we covered, like we also named the points, like what kind of points you're supposed to ask. So the product is one, there's geography. What else was there? This product, there's geography. You're finally asking about the product. That is supposed to be kind of in the beginning, right? Also stop asking about competitors.
Yeah. So there's no new competitors,
Yeah.
and our product is more or less the same as the other competitors. What you generally should be asking about the competitors is, have they seen any loss, or have, because that was another point, is the problem industry wide or just related to us? So that would
Yeah,
be the
okay.
question you would ask about competitors,
Phrase the question in that way, okay.
because the
Also,
interviewer is only going to ask exactly what you're asking. So he's only going to answer exactly what you're asking. So if you're asking a
yeah,
very broad thing, they're not going to answer.
yeah. None of you asked where do we lie in the value chain, even though Soumya already answered it, but you're supposed to ask that question as well. Where do we lie in the value chain?
Yeah, technically, Pranav sort of asked it, but not exactly also.
Yeah,
Okay. The next is type of customers, age and their profession. Okay. Again, customers. Okay, age and their profession again does not. Okay, this comes in value chain. When we said customer pull, that is when you would find out about this.
yeah. Also,
Not in
you can
preliminary.
also kind of use your business insight here. I don't think people of varying age and varying professions um, consume whatever they use drugs, right? So varying age, varying professions. So use your business insight here.
Okay. Any laws being enforced? No, there's no such. Matlab, obviously, there are laws, but there's no change in the laws, which is what maybe how the question should have been framed.
Yeah.
What are the different products sold by the company? Oh, we're only in the cocaine business. Decrease in, okay, this is okay. Devansh, you've asked the correct question. Decrease in profits is in which country or worldwide? So this is the kind of question you should be asking. So the
Yeah.
Asian countries have reported lower profits. So here we've narrowed it down to the Asian countries. We know that the problem is not worldwide.
How long has the company been operating in the drugs business? So again, that's irrelevant, I guess. But we don't have an answer for that.
Yeah, that's not really mentioned in this case, but assume that it's been there for a long time. You mentioned
Yeah.
distribution of cocaine from Mexico to worldwide. Is cocaine the only product? Yes, it is. Which drug has most declined? It's only cocaine. What is our market share in the cocaine business? Assume that it's all equal.
What
What if
if
the
the
problem
problem
is
is worldwide?
worldwide?
Okay, so the problem is not worldwide, as
No,
Soumya
okay,
already
suppose if
said.
it is.
Okay, so if it is, then you'd move on to the other questions, right? You'd move on to isolating the problem along the profit structure, value chain, and the
Yeah,
others.
then, okay, so then I would suggest that you look into, is it only your company that's facing the problem, or is everyone facing the problem? If everyone is facing the problem, then look at what is happening outside the industry that's affecting this industry.
Yeah.
But if it's only happening in your industry, then you need to look into profits and costs and all that. Okay, I think you've covered all preliminary questions.
Okay, yeah.
So how long has this been an issue? Recent phenomenon. We have 2 years. Product. We're only present in the cocaine business, and our competitors are also in the same business. With geography, we all around the world, and only Asian countries have reported low profits. Uh, Value chain, we lie. Right. So the local drug cartels purchase the cocaine from us and sell it to the end consumers. And oh right, okay. I don't think anybody asked this one. If it's only company specific or it's industry wide. Anirudh, did anyone ask this one?
Yeah, okay. They probably asked a similar question. You said that they could have framed it this way.
All right, okay. So yeah, so there's no serious hit to anybody else's profits. It's just our company.
Yeah, okay. So go through the preliminary questions once. These cover all of them that you could probably ask.
Yes, but good work. You covered mostly all of them, and
Yeah,
it's just about framing the question. So make sure
yeah,
you're specific and not very open ended also, because if you do go very open ended, the interviewer is not going to answer, and they're only going to
yeah.
answer exactly what you're asking. All right, okay. So after this, let's go to profit structure. Okay, so we know that we have decreased profits. So again, we divide the profit into revenue minus cost. This is where, okay, somebody asked revenue minus cost. So this is where that would come in. So okay, so we would ask, okay, so we make the structure. We know the profits have decreased. We would ask, has the revenue changed? And we would find out that the revenue has decreased. Then we would ask if the cost has increased. Would we find out the cost is same? So we don't need to delve into the cost side of it. So cost per unit and cost per unit and number of units, it's all same. So we can leave that. After revenue, we can go into the number of units produced and price per unit. Again, we would ask these individually from the interviewer, and we would find out that the number of units have reduced. And after that, go into geography wise. Remember, I told you when I was doing the MECI, when I was doing the profit structure in the beginning of the PPT, there was a note that said that it can be divided further on geography or products. So here we have divided number of units in by the geography, because we know that Asia is the place that's been hit the most. That's been hit. No other place has reported any declining profits. So we're looking at Asia here.
Okay, Soumya, there are a few questions.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so Pranav asks, since there are no competitors, do we still have to consider that problems are being faced by all other companies? So Pranav, we do have competitors, and I don't think we asked this question, right? If the other okay,
No,
so
no,
yeah,
it's the
the
last
last one.
one.
Yeah, the last one. So the answer says we have men in a few other cartels who inform us that there is no serious hit to their profits. This means our competitors have not seen a decline in their profits. It's only our company that is experiencing a decline in profits. Okay, so yeah, I think that answers your question, Pranav. The next question by Rishabh is, has the revenue declined or cost increased? Okay, so that we covered in the profit structure.
Right. So the revenue has decreased. The cost is the same.
Yeah.
Okay. So now this is done. After this, we look at issues in the value chain.
Okay.
So we have production, distribution, and customer pull. Okay, let's start with production. Put in your questions. What do you think should be asked here?
Type in the questions in the chat box, guys. Quality of product. No, no, Sayani,
No,
no.
it's valid. It's a valid question. But the quality of product is the same. Our product is equal to our competitor's product.
Is the problem in transportation or production? Okay, so again, Nishant, you'd have to frame it in a better way. You can't
Because
be.
even if there is a problem, I can't directly tell you if the problem is in the transportation or production. Remember, that's your job to find it out.
Yeah. Okay, so Kumar Rahul has kind of asked the right question. Has the production gone down? So this would be one of the questions. Is there has there been a change in the production capacity for our company?
Right. So the
Has,
answer is no. Our production is the same.
okay. So Rishabh asks, has raw material quantities decreased? Okay, no, that also the raw materials, there hasn't been a decrease in raw materials. Our production capacity has remained the same. There's been no impact on the raw materials or production. Are we producing less? Okay, so that has been covered already. Has our production capacity changed? Yeah, okay. The same question. What is the cost of transportation is increased? Okay, so that is Soumya, we have the answer for it, right?
Cost of transport, 1 second. Cost of transportation, I don't think we have.
Okay, so yeah, there has been no change.
There's
There's
been
been
no
no change.
change.
Yeah. Has consumption decreased? Okay, again, Devansh, the question that you've asked would come probably in the customer pull issue, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're only taking questions from the production or
For production
transportation
right
issue.
now.
Extra cost, capital expenditure, operating cost.
Again, also, right, in the profit structure, we drill down on this, right? We looked at there's no change in cost. So you don't need to
Yeah,
ask cost-based questions here.
yeah.
Have street dealers been poached by competitors? This would come in distribution. Dealers would be in distribution, not in production.
Yeah. Are we able to meet the demands again? So this is one of the questions that you would ask. And yeah, so we are able to meet the demands. We have enough production. So we are able to supply whatever the demand is.
Are all produced drugs reaching all distribution channels in Asia? That's an excellent question, and that is where I will tell you that no, they are not. Oh, wait one. So, okay,
Okay.
wait. Your question.
Nishant also asked a similar question: is the distribution channel faulty? But you'll have to
So basically,
classify the
okay,
distribution channel.
I'll elaborate on this. Our distribute. Okay, so our product is reaching the distributors, but our distributors are not being able to push the product to the cartel. Okay, so it's a transportation issue, but it's not exactly distribute transportation in the beginning.
Yeah. Has the cost of production changed or increased? Okay, again, Pranav, the cost of production was covered in the profit structure part. So we won't cover it in the value chain.
And the
Is the
production,
production is the production in same pace with the requirements? Yeah, so Kumar Rahul, the question is again, you've just rephrased the question if we are able to meet the demand. So yeah, we are able to meet the demand. We have enough production.
and Ujjwal, the product, yeah, if it has some side effect, you ask this in customer pull, not in production, because
Yeah.
their consumers have had contact with it. Or okay, wait. So basically, what we're seeing is that nothing in production is as such a problem here. So wait, I'll just go through the questions in production once. Has our production capacity changed? We told you no. Are we able to supply distributors according to demand? Yes. And are all products reaching the different distribution channels through the distributor? So I said that they're reaching the distributors properly. Okay, so production capacity has not changed. We're able to supply and they're reaching the distributor. Now we look at distribution push. So okay, so let production and transportation go now and look at distribution push. Is there anything up with our distribution?
So, Soumya, Arham's last question, I guess it would be covered in this distribution position.
Distribution, yes.
Yeah.
So
So,
how's
how do
our
our distribution channels in Asia stack up against our competitors? What was the answer, Soumya?
yeah, this is an excellent question. Um, So we were initially using the same distribution channels as our competitors, but recently the local cartels have been receiving the drugs through alternate, less risky routes, and our competitors have moved to them. The next one is, there a change in number of distributors? No, there's no change in the number of distributors. And after that, our inventory increasing. So inventory would be in production only. The next question is, are our distributors happy to push our product? Yes, they're more than happy to push our product. We're at par with our clients. There's no specific that the distributors are not leaning to any specific product.
Yeah. Aram asks, so you're saying the channels are not selling or pushing the product to the customers as they did before. So no, that's not happening. So, okay, Aram, channels and distributors are two different things. Channels cannot push the product to customers. It's the distributors that push, and channels are the medium that you're using to sell your product. So what Soumya said was that our competitors are using alternate routes which are less risky. So that was the answer to your first question. How do our distribution channels in Asia stack up against our competitors?
Right. And
I,
I think you've covered all.
yeah, so there were two questions only, Soumya, and they've covered both.
Yeah. So are the distributors able to push our product to the cartels? And what are our distribution channels and how do they stack up against our competitors? Right. So they're not able to push our product to the cartels and the supply routes have changed. So in light of stricter enforcement, the local cartels have been receiving the drugs through alternate, less risky routes and our competitors have moved to them. Okay, now we move to customer pull. Okay, before that, so just a quick summary. We've realized that there is a distribution push issue here. So one way to solve this problem would just to focus on that and then solve further. Another thing you can do is complete the value chain and see if there's any other problem that may be there. Because it could be that there's not just one problem. So for the sake of completion, we'll do customer pull also. So the first one is, has consumption decreased? As such, no. Consumption is where it was.
The next question is, has the demand decreased? The demand has remained the same, Utkarsh.
Uh,
Profit margin on a product is less. So there's no difference in the in the profit margin also.
and do local cartel, can they reach the right amount of customers? Yes, they can.
Okay, I guess they've covered the question, right,
Right.
Samya?
So customer pull is done. So has the overall market reduced? No change. And you've actually added more questions, which is good. But we find that there's no problem in customer pull.
Okay, so guys, we now know that our issue lies in the distribution push part, right? So now we'll ask follow-up questions based on that. What kind of questions do you think we could ask? We know that the distributors are not able to push our product, and that our competitors are using alternate, less risky routes, and so that would mean our routes are basically risky. Cost of less risky distribution channels.
That's a
Okay.
suggestion. I would say that's a suggestion, not a follow-up question. Right now, we're isolating the problem. We just know that everybody
Yeah.
is shifted to a less risky distribution channel. Here, we're trying to figure out why and why haven't we?
Yeah. So, what question would you ask first? What are the current routes we are using for distribution? What routes are our competitors using? So we don't have information about what kind of routes our company is using and what our competitors are using. We just know that our routes have become risky in comparison to what our competitors have now started using, the newer routes, the less risky ones. Again, Sayani, I think I've already answered your question. Why haven't we shifted to the less risky routes?
Very simple. We didn't know that they're shifting to the less risky routes. So that's why we haven't done it yet.
Yeah. So now you're supposed to identify the problem, right? Try to isolate the problem first.
Right. So
And
has
risk
risk
increase.
increased due to change in government policies? So we
That's it.
saw that there is stricter enforcement.
Yeah.
So
The
try
law
and figure out
enforcement.
what could be happening.
Yeah. Are the less risky ones more costly? Okay, Kumar, I will try to identify the problem first. Okay, so the question asked by Lakshya Gangwani, that's a good one. Are the new routes cheaper? Again, don't go into the cost, guys.
We'll look at that and recommendations.
Yeah,
Come
try
up
to
with why,
find out find out what the problem is. So you,
find
first of
out
all, you need
why
to
our
learn.
competitors have changed routes. Less risky routes are charging more taxes. No. Is there a security breach in our distribution? Yes, I can say there's a security breach. Now try and figure out what is happening to our cocaine that is being distributed there. What do you think could be happening to it? Come on, guys, it's cocaine. What can happen to cocaine? Yes, okay, there we go. Is it getting caught by agencies? Yes, it is. That's exactly what is happening. Um, it is being confiscated by law
Yeah.
enforcement, and that is why our competitors have shifted to the less risky route.
Okay, so guys, a lot of you asked now,
Yeah,
is
yeah,
it being seized? So yeah, it's being seized. It's being confiscated by the law enforcement.
right.
Okay, so
So,
Swami, I think we can show them the questions now.
yeah.
Okay,
So,
so the
an
first
ideal
question,
situation would be
yeah, so the first question that you would ask would be, what has made our routes risky? Okay, and the interviewer would say, what do you think could be happening? Because again, this question is very broad, right? So the interviewer could ask you to suggest what possible reasons could there be which have made our the routes that our company has been using riskier compared to the ones that our competitors have been using.
which is exactly what we did. A couple of you wrote why are our routes risky or why have they shifted. So that's something that you would find out. That's
Yeah,
that we answered with telling you to try and figure it out.
yeah. Okay, so you could say it is possible that our product is being stolen, and you
I
would
don't
ask if that's the case.
I don't think anybody came up with stolen.
Yeah. No, but they asked if it's being
Oh, they said
smuggled.
smuggling. Yeah, right. Okay, so yeah, you were
If
on there.
there's a security breach, that would mean somebody stealing our cocaine,
Yeah,
right? So
okay.
yeah. Okay, so so the interviewer could say, "Good that you've identified one possible reason, but that is not the case. What is likely to happen to an illegal product like cocaine?" And
Right. So
now you could
here
come to
the interviewer is sort of pushing you towards the right direction, which is what I
yeah,
did. Because you weren't able to come up with the correct answer, I sort of hinted that it's an illegal it's what do you think will be happening to cocaine?
yeah. Okay, so you could ask, is our product being confiscated by the law enforcement? And the interviewer would say, exactly. It so happens that our cocaine is being confiscated in marketplaces by the police. Why is this happening?
So we'll actually open this to you. Why do you think it's being confiscated?
Yeah, now more than before. It's been confiscated now more than before. So, what do you think has changed? Kind of like answered this
Anirudh, your voice went. All right, okay. So are we following all laws? We're in the cocaine business. I wouldn't say we're following all laws. Um, Vigilance by agencies, etc. Yeah, so this is one point. Maybe the law enforcement has become stricter compared to before.
more fatalities with a change in composition. That's a nice
That's very
one.
dark.
That could also have been happening. Okay.
But no, that's
Stricter
got
officer.
nothing to do with it.
Yeah, okay, so that's not happening. Also, stricter officer, that would mean stricter law enforcement, right? So yeah, that has been happening. Offering less bribery.
So maybe frame this a little better. You could say that instead of offering less bribery, you could say that our cartels are not pushing it properly, or they've slackened in terms of how they're pushing the product.
Yeah.
The one before that, kids
Kids.
started listening to their parents now.
Okay, so that has not happened, Ashish.
It's
That
not
is
just
unlikely.
kids.
Stricter laws have been put in place again, so that's just a repetition of the first of the point that has been made by
Yeah,
several
but
people
that's a good
earlier.
point.
Yeah. Snitching. Okay, so there might be a mole in the organization.
Could be a possibility.
Yeah. New laws in Asian countries. Again, yeah, stricter laws, new laws, stricter law enforcement. The same question.
Right. So raids, police have identified the routes and are watching same thing. Other third party has someone from agencies. Right. So that's again law enforcement only. Any competitor leaking information about a distribution. Right. So here you could note that our competitors were using the same distribution channels as us beforehand, and they just recently shifted to less riskier routes. So I don't think any competitors leaking information about our distribution.
Yeah. Maybe one of our competitors came to know about our hole and they told it to the police. Okay, so no, they've also shifted their routes. So they did
Yeah,
not
so it's a
inform the police.
problem that affected everyone. It was just
Yeah.
us who was the latest to sort of switch our routes as well.
Competitors influencing the local enforcement. Again, the competitors have also shifted their routes, so they did not do that because
They
why,
could, though. I
why would
mean, the competitors could be paying the local enforcement bribes to not seize their product. That's a
yeah,
good point. It could be there.
that's a good point. Yeah, it could be there, but this it is not happening in our case.
Yeah. So government spy on work again. That's law enforcement. Okay. You're coming up with a lot of creative ideas, and they're all sort of revolving around the same thing. Mobile tracing. Could there be breach in supply network? Again, mobile tracing would lead back to law enforcement only, and some cartels are involved with police. Again, that same thing, and they might disclose our routes to authorities and shift it theirs, right? So that could be happening. So, what the slide said,
Okay, so you kind of covered both the points, right?
yeah,
These guys covered it. Yeah. So this could be because either the enforcement against drugs has become stricter, which is law enforcement has become stricter, law has become stricter in Asia specifically, because we know that our profits have declined in Asia only, or the security around our sale with the cartel has slackened, which is what you guys said, or it could be both of the reasons. Were we supposed to make a wait, what was were we supposed to make a conclusion at this point? Okay, so yeah, so as it has been already mentioned, the interviewer previously said, why is this happening? So the interviewer would want you to answer this. What could possibly be happening? So that is why you suggest what things could be happening, what could be affecting our profits in Asia. So okay, so these are the two possibilities. So these were the follow-up questions, and now, okay, then next part would be the interviewer would ask you to make recommendations. Okay, so the interviewer asks, what would be your recommendations? So guys, go ahead, tell us what do you think could be the recommendations that you'd make.
and this is
You
the
know
last
that,
part of the case.
yeah. So yeah, recommendations is when you conclude solving the case. Okay, yeah. So Uh, Kumar Rahul, Devansh Mahajan, both of you, you suggested a very good point, changing our route. Okay, good connection with law enforcement. Okay, Shiny, that's also a good one. We could try to bribe the law enforcement. That's also a good point. Changing the local cartel. Okay, so the local cartel will remain the same, Karmanya. Switch to less risky routes. Again, yeah, that's a good point. Devise new and safer routes different from other competitors.
Okay,
Okay,
so
that's
while you're
also.
suggesting all of this, changing our cartels or switching to less risky routes or devising new and safer routes, remember that there's a cost involved with all of this. So we have to see if the cost of changing any of this outweighs the profits we're making, because then it will not make sense to shift anything.
Yeah,
Right.
otherwise if
So
profits do not increase, they instead decline after you've changed routes. That would not make business sense, right? You wouldn't do that.
right. So whenever you suggest something, make sure you add to it that if the cost does not outweigh the profits, or if it makes economic sense, financial sense, then we do this. Just add these like little lines to your recommendation so that the interviewer knows that you're looking at the cost benefit analysis also.
Mayank asks if the law has changed in Asia, what makes the other routes less risky though? The rules apply to them too, right? Okay, did we say the law has changed? We said
We've
law
not
enforcement has become.
necessarily, yeah, we didn't say that the
Yes.
law has changed.
Yeah, the law enforcement has become stricter. And if you change the route to a less risky one, that would probably mean the law enforcement is not patrolling that route, right? So that
Right. Or
might be
they
a
don't know
longer
about
route.
that particular route.
Yeah, yeah. That might be a longer route that could have been like more costly for our company, but then there's lesser law enforcement agencies present there patrolling that route. Okay, so guys, do you have any other recommendations? If the distributing cartel has slackened recruiting new workers.
Yeah, we can do that. But again, we'll look at the cost side of it also.
Yeah.
You're still missing, I think, one or two points that could be said.
Increase customer base by recruiting more salespeople and tap new market.
So I would
Okay.
just like to ask, what new market could we tap? I mean, we're already producing and distributing worldwide.
Yeah. Improve the hiding strategy for the drugs sold during shipping, making it difficult for agencies to find.
Yes, this is excellent point. We can definitely ramp up security.
Introducing more products. Okay, Nishant, that wouldn't change. Our routes would still remain as risky as they were.
Yeah, but
So I
we
don't.
could actually, I wouldn't say this is altogether a bad idea, because suppose if we introduce more products and their profits outweigh the loss we're making here, I think this could work.
Yeah. Okay. That would also work, but then you'd have to dive into the analysis
Yeah,
of
the interviewer
introducing a new
may ask
product.
you to.
Yeah, then it would totally, it would become a market entry problem then. Relaxed regulations for the cartels. Okay, we are not the government agencies, or we are not the law enforcement. We can't relax the regulations, right? We're not making the law. We're not legislating the law. We can't relax the regulations. Trying to legalize it in possible countries. Okay, we might try to lobby the governments, but then
If we could legalize it, we wouldn't have this issue only.
yeah, yeah,
We would
we
have
could try
legalized
to
it beforehand.
lobby, but then that happens probably only in the US, right? The lobbying industry. I don't think other democracies have such large lobbying industries. Target market with less law enforcement, targeting market where the other illegal act are going on. Okay, again, we are already covering all markets. You could introduce a new product which has already been suggested. Timing of deals can be changed.
Yeah, so
That,
that, yeah, we can look at that. I mean,
yeah,
if
making a
some,
distribution more efficient in some way,
yeah. Okay,
tackling
so
the law enforcement agencies. I think somewhere we can,
messaging, yeah.
yeah, we can go ahead, tell them what our recommendations would have been. Okay, so yeah, look to increase security of our consignments around this route. You guys have already suggested this. This would be our first recommendation. Shift to the alternate route that our competitors have now started using. This has been recommended by you guys already. Ramp up production to the extent that losses due to security lapses are made up for. Okay, so this is what you guys said. We could like compensate for the losses made in Asia by ramping up production and increasing our market share in the rest of the world. So that we could do. And we could finally do nothing much if previous three actions will lead only to more losses. Since you've not done the analysis for any of the three previous recommendations, you don't know if they would be profitable, right? So as Soumya mentioned, they could also lead to losses. So you, in that case, you do nothing. If all three actions will lead to more losses, you would do nothing. So these were the recommendations.